supported by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with code CLUB@22. Your balls will thank you. Hello everyone and welcome to Club Reaction here on Club at 22 the Rangers podcast to Lyon 1, Rangers 1. A bit of an impromptu live that we're doing just now because we were going to be slightly later in recording due to life getting in the way of things for me particularly, and Ali having to go a walk. I'm only kidding, Ali, it is all my fault. Joining me to discuss a rather pleasing night in France for Rangers and to continue Gio's unbeaten run as Rangers manager, Ali Pearson, how you doing?
Not bad. That was fairly enjoyable, to be honest. My heart wasn't beating like it usually would, so it was a short right.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Scotia, how's it going, mate?
I'm okay. Ali's like a wee dog, isn't he? He needs to go his walk daily.
Yeah.
Keep a fit.
Not walk yet.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah,
no, I'm good.
Yeah,
I agree with Ali there in the terms of that. It was a relaxing watch, that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's something quite different. Just before we get started, morning from Auckland. I just love that. I love that there's somebody in Auckland watching us. Good morning indeed. Curry Munchers here. Your balls will thank you. Yes, they will. Missy said nuts look like a pair of muggers. Aye. John Lammy, evening guys, good evening. Yeah, so we are just live tonight just purely based on, I'd say everything was a wee bit rushed there and it was just trying to find the time to record, and by the time we do this, yada yada, all the boring stuff, I thought we might as well just go live just now. So yeah, as I say, it's a different game, a different feeling to the game. It did to me feel very much like a friendly, as if there wasn't really much to play for. I think you could tell by the amount of changes that both teams made to that. So I didn't really know what to expect, but we've seen some good things tonight. We've seen some not good things tonight, as you would probably expect from the experimentation that happened by Van Bronckhorst tonight. So we'll get into it. The starting 11 was 6 changes for the side that won against Dundee on Saturday. McLaughlin, Patterson, Goldson, Bassey, Barisic, Lundstram, Kamara, Kent, Hadji, Wright and Roof. On the bench was Tav, Arfield, Aribo, Bakuna, Davis, Kelly, McGregor and McCrory. No Morelos and Sakala as expected due to being one booking away from suspension. However, the biggest thing sticking out from that is that Ryan Jack was nowhere to be seen. Ali, it's been reported that he's took another knock in training. I'm beginning to feel the worst for Ryan Jack.
Yeah, it's worrying. This was a perfect game for Ryan Jack to play tonight. I picked him in my team. I didn't see him even on the bench. I was worried, and then obviously Gio was interviewed and confirmed that he picked an injury up in training. So it's not good. It's not good. He seems to come back, Ryan Jack, and then pull up straight away, and it's worrying. And how long do we persevere with him, to be honest, until it gets to a point where, and I don't want this to come to this point, that you need to say, no, I'm sorry, we can't have players that are constantly injured for Rangers at the moment. We need players that can come in, and at this present point, he can't, unfortunately, and it's sad because Ryan Jack's an important player for us, but if he's going to be constantly injured, unfortunately, we will have to cut our ties with him at some point.
Well,
and it pains me to say that. Pains me to say that.
Honestly,
pains me to say it, Carney, but
no, look, mate. Yeah, tonight's one of the ones that kind of dawned on me, and I've said it before, mate, about Ryan Jack is he deserved another chance. He deserved to have another go at it. Of course he did, but this is another setback, and I just don't know how long will it be persevere. I was gutted that Ryan Jack wasn't even on the bench tonight. Because it just gave me that kind of sinking feeling. Look, and we might be reading too much into it. It might be something minuscule and they've just decided not to take the risk. But Scotia, I have the fear that he's going to get left behind with this team as Gio just continues to kind of progress forward.
Yep, it's a severe possibility, to be honest. I didn't see Gio's sort of post-match interviews or anything like that, or pre-match even, should I say. So I didn't pick up on the news that he'd get injured in training. So I'm hoping that's just a knock. I know I was saying to you guys in the group chat that I would have expected Ryan Jack to be starting more often if we were playing the way we were playing sort of towards the end of Gerrard's time in charge. But I think the team itself have kind of got a wee bounce in their step that Jack's not really been needed, because the rest of the midfield were starting to play that bit better. So I'm hoping that it's just a wee slight knock and they're not taking any risks at all, because he's an important player for us, and is a player that I really like as well. You know, he's one of my favourite Rangers players at the moment, and you know, you're well documented in saying it yourself that he's like one of your best favourite Rangers players at the moment too. So hopefully it's just a wee knock, because I know he's got about a year and a half left in his contract. I think that runs down at the end of sort of the 2022-23 season. So hopefully he can recover fairly quickly and get back into the match day squads and things, because to be honest, we probably need him over the next couple of weeks. So hopefully it is just a wee niggle and they're not taking any risks.
Yeah, I'm starting to get worried about it, and even as I'm talking about it, it's giving me not a very nice feeling in my stomach, because everybody knows how much I love Ryan Jack. I loved Ryan Jack when he came, and then my stepdad is a sheepshagger for his sins, and he hates him, so it makes me love him even more. So yeah, it's one of these things. Aldo, thanks very much, mate. Don't forget to hit the like button, people subscribe and become a member. It says club logo there. That must not come up on StreamYard for whatever reason, but you can actually use in the comments, you can use our logo if you become a Club at 22 supporter. So cheers, Aldo. So into the game itself. Before we get started, somebody just mentioned it in the comments as well. That Lyon top is up there with the worst kit I have seen all season. That was horrific. Would you agree with that? Am I being a bit old-fashioned here? But that is horrible.
What didn't go through my head, to be honest, when I was watching the game, if I'm being honest, but didn't really bother me. I'm not going to be wearing a Lyon top anyway.
Scotia, you kind of look like you're wearing... Scotia looks like he's kind of wearing a cloak tonight. You want to let a cloak?
It's just a jumper, man. I've had my window open all day, so my room's freezing.
He's like Undertaker.
No, I've not. Like Ali, it didn't really register me on the night, but see all these kind of daft away kits, they've come back into fashion recently over the past few seasons, that you get these, but maybe not away kits as such, but the third kit seems to be these mad flashbacks to the mid-90s when the tops were horrific at points back then, particularly down in the Premier League. So yeah, it's not one I would be buying.
No, I just had to mention it. Somebody did mention it, but I actually noted it down. I was like, that's fucking horrific, that top. Anyway, we'll jump into the game. First 10, Rangers had the better of the ball. Kent was looking really dangerous. Kind of 10 to 20 minutes, Lyon started to dominate the possession a bit, but Rangers seemed quite happy just to sit in. Neither team really created anything up to 20 minutes, Ali. So it was quite... Flat's probably not the wrong word. It was uneventful for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's like watching a pre-season friendly. I thought both teams were quite happy to... I thought the first couple of minutes, Lyon and I had a go at us, and then we get control of the ball and knocked the ball about quite nicely, I thought, at times, Rangers. But I think Lyon were quite happy to give us the ball at times, and vice versa. We were happy to give them the ball. It was very pre-season vibes, to be honest, and like me and Scotia said again, it was a enjoyable watch, because you knew at the end of what the result was. It didn't really matter in the grand scheme of it, but it was good to see certain players that you'll obviously come on to that I thought put a good performance in.
Yeah, I forgot, actually, we got so sidetracked with Ryan Jack there. My fault, probably. Scotia, what was your thoughts on the team? Did you expect more changes than that, or were you happy with the amount of changes that were made?
No, I think that's the least, or the most they could really make, because the defence, there was really only one option to change in defence. And then obviously, like you mentioned, up front, we're resting Sakal and Morelos because we don't want them to pick up that second yellow card that would rule them out. So no, that was kind of the amount of changes that I expected, if I'm being honest. It would have been good maybe to see a few more of the youngsters on the bench, but I think that was stopped by quite a few of them. Were obviously playing against that Bulgarian outfit earlier in the week, so perhaps that's why we didn't see them.
Yeah, perhaps. Ali, quickly, just back to you. Were you happy enough with the team?
Yeah, the only two that wasn't in my team was Ryan Jack, and that's because he was injured, and I thought Bakuna might have started. So yeah, I was the back five was what I thought it would be, because that's pretty much all we've got to pick from, and then midfield to front with Roof up front. I was pretty happy with the team, to be honest.
Yeah, it's same. I think it was. I'm maybe a wee bit shocked the fact that Kent played, but I reckon obviously if Sakala wasn't on his booking, then he probably would have played Sakala, I would imagine, and rested Kent. But yeah, I was happy enough with it. I'm a wee bit disappointed we didn't see some of the youth players. I mean, we didn't see Kelly either tonight. Obviously, we'll come on to. So I did expect to see a wee bit more of that, just based on Gio's a Dutch coach. This is kind of what they're all about. So, but again, no, I think he was obviously trying to kind of see out the one each eventually. So, Roof goes close after great work from Kent on the left-hand side, sees the keeper off his line, takes it early, but just clips outside of the post. Then it's a bit of a panic stations at the back for Rangers. A long ball over the top. It's McLaughlin rushing off his line. He punches it away, but he punches it straight to a Lyon player. But Rangers do manage to kind of regroup and stop him getting a shot away. That takes us up to about 30 minutes, and you could tell it was a well-changed 11 for both teams. In my opinion, at this point, this is what I have noted down, so don't at me. In my opinion, from a Rangers perspective, Wright hadn't really been in the game at this point at all, up to 30 minutes, and neither did Hadji. Patterson was showing me flashes, and he was showing his willingness and his desire to get forward. However, he did get caught out a few times defensively. Ali, is that a fair assessment on 30 minutes without knowing what's about to happen next?
Yeah, I was the same on Scott Wright. I thought Scott Wright, the first 20, 25 minutes wasn't in the game at all. Scotia's man Hadji tonight frustrated me tonight. He really frustrated me at times. He did some really good stuff, and then at times his decision making I thought was really poor. There was one, I think it was the first half we were in, and he could have slid the ball to, I don't know who it was on the right hand side, and he had a shot, and it was fucking terrible. He frustrated me a lot tonight, Hadji, but that's what Hadji's about. He's a frustrating player, but he can give you that one moment of brilliance, Hadji. But yeah, I thought Ryan Kent was having joy with that boy they had right back.
He was like 17 or something.
He was only 17. Yeah. So you've got to give he's only a young lad, to be fair. But Ryan Kent, every time he wanted to go at him, could beat him. And that was the threat we had down the left-hand side, really. And like you say, Patterson was off on that offensive side down there. But I thought if we were going to get joy, it was going to be through Ryan Kent.
Yeah, Scotia, your thoughts on 30 minutes? Would you agree that Wright, Hadji were kind of struggling and Patterson a few times? Just nothing really seriously major, but just maybe his over eagerness to get forward was kind of jeopardising his defensive performance, if you like.
It was at times on. Yeah, I agree with Ali on Wright. That's the kind of player Wright is. It's that winger that, you know, this is I think it was his first start since the Hearts game back in early October, maybe. I think that's his first start. So yeah, you can't. It was a meaningless game as well. It didn't have any zip about it, really. It was Hadji's. I think it's been Hadji's worst performance under Gio, but I don't think it was an absolutely terrible performance. I just think there wasn't that zip in the game that was allowing him, because he was getting played as the number 10, which I want him to get played at, but there wasn't that zip to the game. You know, that way up until that, 30 minutes. And Lyon grew into the game for after about 10 minutes, they started taking a wee bit of control, and we were quite happy to kind of lose territory, lose a bit of possession and just soak up the pressure. So it was a very kind of, easy game to watch. But no points was getting concerned. There was that chance that Dembele played the offside trap in about 10 minutes, and I think if he'd managed to do it better, I think that would have probably been onside, because he did sell Bassi. Bassi get caught out a wee bit there. Yeah. But yeah, apart from that, that was really the biggest chance. And then obviously we had Roof's chance as well, that you knew what he was doing, and he was a wee bit unlucky that it didn't manage to go in or get a wee bit closer to the net there. But yeah, it was up to that point, it was a fairly kind of laid back pedestrian game. And as we say, it was actually, there was no stress for me at any point during that game. I was just sitting back, actually enjoying a game like it was like I wasn't watching Rangers because I was just sitting enjoying a game of football, to be honest. No stress involved.
Yeah, Jamie Lowe's come in. Manscaped also the best in men's hair straighteners. Team Oliver, Scotia, this is going to grow arms and legs, this. But yeah, cheers, Jamie. Yeah, I would tend to agree. I still was very aware that I was watching Rangers, but I did feel I kind of forgot that it was the Europa League at times. I was going on, fuck, right, this is actually Europe. Because obviously the stadium didn't help. There was hardly empty in the stadium, really, for our home fans. And kudos to the Rangers fans that managed to get themselves there, by the way, because that's absolutely incredible that after the carry-on that they've been through with the French authorities, Lyon authorities, and I thought the Rangers Festival of Light was probably better than anything France could ever hope to put on for a cheese and light festival or whatever their excuse was going to be. But yeah, as I say, it was just one of those games. Scott's right first. He kind of run at the defender. It leads to a shot from Barisic at the edge of the box, but it's he's right footing it straight at the keeper. But it was more promising from Wright, and then Rangers take the lead. Great work from Kent down the left hand side. He flicks the ball over the defenders to Kamara. The check back from Kamara sends that boy to Paris. Cuts it back to the edge of the box. Scott Wright, who shoots. The shot is deflected, yes, but it goes in. Ali, if you don't shoot, you don't score.
Yeah, I've been banging that drum for God knows how long. And we have noticed under Gio that we have been shooting from outside the box, mainly Joe Aribo, to be honest, but it was a great bit of play. Kent does really well. How many times have we seen Glenn Kamara? A lot of guys would be shouting from hit that first time, and he just pulls the ball back, sends that guy to the shops. He's done that move lots of times for Rangers. Pulls it back to Scott Wright, and like you say, if you don't shoot, you don't score, and they got a bit of joy, and it's in the back of the net. And yeah, I thought Rangers grew into the game the last 15 minutes and were the better team, and I kind of thought we deserved the lead from the bit of play that we had.
Yeah, Scotia, Kamara and Kent here, it is pure filth.
Oh, it was brilliant this wee bit, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. But we'd won the ball back there because when we were breaking forward, I think it was Kent that was fouled just after he'd got across the D in the centre circle. He get fouled, get pulled back for a free kick, and then Roof does really well to then go in and get in front of the defender to win another free kick for us. And it's from that then it goes over to Kent and Kamara out on the left-hand side there. They do fantastically. It was absolutely brilliant. Set the boy for a croissant down in Lyon, and then yeah, that was it.
That's very, very cliche, mate. That is very, very cliche. I liked it though. I liked it. I'm not going to lie. I liked it. So then Wright had a shot from the edge of the box, but it goes over. But he'd certainly upped his game towards kind of the end of the half. Then half time, it's 1-0 to Rangers, and I was thinking that was rather pleasing, was it not?
Yeah, I was sitting at half time thinking I'm quite enjoying this, to be fair. I mean, it did have a feel of like I said, a friendly, to be honest, but the last 15 minutes, I thought Rangers just upped the tempo a wee bit, and guys like Scott Wright came alive, I thought, the last 15 minutes. And I thought Rangers were really good the last 15 minutes. Ryan Kent in particular, I thought was really good. But yeah, I was sitting at half time thinking, we could get something for this game.
That's quite good. A what, Scotia? Do you mean a roll? Yeah, Scotia at half time, I was like, that's all just fine. That was all just fine. Look, and I know it's a well-changed Lyon team and all that, but I mean, there's still quality within that team. There's no doubt about it. Their league position does not represent what kind of team they are. Look how well they've done in this group, for example. So, yeah, I was pretty pleased at half time.
Yeah, I was really enjoying that first half performance for us. There was about that wee spell where Lyon grew into it, but like you say, they'd made big rafts changes as well. But they also had Dembele up front, and they had that boy Akambi up front who couldn't find his way out of Bassey's pocket, to be honest, towards the end of the match. But yeah, so the big players that that have punished us there in the past. I know in defence they probably had quite a youthful team, but these are players that are coming on to start, playing, pushing into like the French national team and things like that with their youth. So they're really high quality players, and so I was very pleased with that. And I seen Curry Muncher earlier on had mentioned there did that remind you of a Walter Smith European performance? And in parts it did. I think we were looked a wee bit more threatening at times than Walter Smith's performances ever did, because sometimes they could be like backs against the walls, your nails bitten right down at the bed and stuff like that because you were just under constant pressure. But like I say, I think we just let them have the ball for big periods of time and just let them soak it up, and they weren't creating any danger to us. And yeah, like I say, I really enjoyed that first half, if I'm being honest.
Did you not think, lads, that
you're right? Did you not?
Wi-Fi flag there, no. No, I wanted to say something before you lot started talking about something else, but did you not think at the back, especially with John McLaughlin tonight, Rangers played the ball out from the back, I thought, brilliantly at times tonight. I mean, I was sitting there at times shiting myself when we were doing this, but at times I thought the way we played the ball out the back was like watching a European team at times, if you know what I mean, because I thought Rangers were very good from playing the ball at the back, and I thought it came from John McLaughlin, because I think he brings a bit of calmness with the ball at his feet, even though at times I'm sitting there going, shite, but they're not thinking that, Rangers. But I just thought, I just wanted to bring it up. And did you think the exact same in terms of the way Rangers played the ball out for the back? They didn't just point the ball at the park.
100%, mate. You literally said everything that I would have said. McLaughlin is so good with the ball at his feet. I mean, McGregor isn't. We all know McGregor is not very good with the ball at his feet. He doesn't like to hit the ball. There was a few passes tonight McLaughlin made. I had a wee, what are you doing? But it came off for him. It didn't really seem to go wrong. John McLaughlin is a really good goalkeeper. It's just a shame that Alan McGregor's still playing. Scotia, would you agree with that? If McGregor wasn't there, I would have no qualms about McLaughlin being our keeper.
No, you're right. And it actually goes back to kind of the Walter Smith period in time, because when McGregor was there, we also had Alexander as the backup. And again, when Alexander came in, you had no qualms about it. McLaughlin, he does offer you that. He can turn the ball over quicker. Coming out for back, he's a wee bit better at controlling this sort of whole 18-yard box coming out, because I know it was maybe in the second half that he came out, and or was it no, it was towards the end of the first half that he came out, and he came out and knocked the ball away from Dembele. They again probably should maybe have scored from that. I don't think it can be done very much there. But no, McLaughlin, we've said it previously before, I think he's one of the second, third best keepers in the league. If you're being honest, and he's not playing every week, so
who are you putting in there with him?
Well, McGregor's number one, and then it's to be honest, it's Craig Gordon's had a phenomenal season, if I'm being honest. So
thank God you said that, because I thought you were going to say Joe Hart. And I was like, no,
agree.
I would agree, Craig Gordon. Yeah, 100% agree, Craig Gordon. He's having a pretty good season. Right. So anyway, we'll get into the second half, and obviously Rangers we concede. But to be honest, this is a very, very unlucky goal for Rangers to concede. The boy does well out on his right hand side, and he does what you should be doing if there's nothing else on. Hit the ball low and hard across the goal as hard as you can into the corridor of uncertainty. I'll use that footballing cliche. And Bassey can't really do much. It deflects off him into the goal. See, when I first seen it back, when I first seen the goal live, I thought he'd scored an absolute worldie. I thought, what a goal that was. I didn't realise it was a deflection. Obviously, they see a deflection. Bassey can't do anything here, and obviously McLaughlin's helpless at that point as well. It's a real unlucky goal to concede.
Yeah, no, it was really unlucky. I mean, I thought the back line tonight was really good in open play. And when I say open play, you'll know what I mean. Corner kick. We'll come to that. No, I thought they were very good. I thought Bassey was that Dembele. I mean, Dembele's a good player. I know he played for them and everything, but he's a good player, Dembele. And I thought Bassey kept him quite quiet and muscled him off the ball a few times. But that one in particular, it was unlucky. And like you said, that guy did everything that you should do. Hit the ball low and hard and see what happens. And he won the lottery, that guy, because it hits off Bassey. Can't blame Bassey, and it's one each at that point. And at that point, you're thinking, how do Rangers respond? Do we retreat and Lyon come on and we concede again, or do we go again? And obviously we'll come on to what happened. But it was unlucky.
Scotia, are we being kind of contradicting to ourselves here? Because I'm going, it's a really unlucky goal. If this game meant something, I would have probably been furious at that.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. I don't think Bassey can do much more. I mean, obviously we're recording this quite a wee bit after the full-time whistle. So the only thing that I've listened to was kind of McInnes and McCoist speaking in the studio just before the switch to Celtic's game against Betis. So I was sitting listening to them, and McInnes said something that I agreed with. I thought Barisic and Kent were doing well enough to kind of close down the angle for was it Chekri out on that right hand side to kind of close the gap. And then maybe where I disagree with McInnes a wee bit, he says that Bassey should be perhaps doing a bit better, being a bit lower. But again, Bassey's he's not completely comfortable yet. He's been really good, but he's not completely comfortable yet playing in a centre back position. So for me, there's not an awful lot that Bassey can do wrong here. So no, it was the guy out in that Shaqiri boy done everything you need to just fire the ball low and hard across the face of defence and hope for that wee nick. So it was disappointing to concede it at that point because it was so early in the half, and you're just coming off at the back of a really good first half. But
yeah, did I mention that Kamara come off? No,
you didn't. I don't think.
No. So at the start of the half, you can tell we've had plenty of time to get through this, and I didn't.
Steve Davis come on.
This live done. Steve Davis come on. Yeah, Steve Davis come on the park. A very good bit of rotation. I felt, to be completely honest. I thought, well, Kamara probably needs a wee bit of a rest. You might as well get Davis on. He's not played in a couple of games, so made perfect sense to me. I wasn't really too fussed about that at all. After the Lyon goal, it was a bit of a broken up game. It didn't really flow at all. Both teams were, I think, maybe struggling whether to think, do we stick, do we twist, are we going to actually try or not? And it came back kind of a battle within the midfield. And again, for that period up until Rangers made a double change, nothing happened. There was not really anything to report. It was just one of them, as I say, both teams seemed quite happy at that point that both of them had scored, and the game just didn't really seem to ebb and flow very well. The double sub for Rangers was on the hour mark. Hadji and Wright come off, replaced by Bakuna and Arfield. Ali, I wasn't shocked to see Hadji come off, but I was a wee bit shocked at Wright. I thought he might have got the 90 minutes.
Yeah, I thought Ryan Kent would have come off after 60 minutes, maybe just to protect him for Sunday. I thought Wright would have probably played the full 90, but he didn't. I thought Bakuna definitely would come on. I didn't think he would play basically as a striker for the last when Roof came off, which was a bit weird.
Don't think he'll be back there again.
No, but you can't blame him because that's not his position. But yeah, the subs were kind of what we were expecting, to be honest. But I agree in terms of that 20-minute spell. It was a bit flat. Lyon probably looked the more likely to score, to be honest, with a couple of chances. We didn't really have an out ball at times. We were getting up the park and kind of losing it or checking back. So it did go a wee bit flat, but the changes kind of sparked a wee bit of life into the game, if you want to say.
CGM55 has just said Kent won't start on Sunday when Ellison Scala will come back in. Well, I strongly disagree with that.
Kent will start.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I strongly disagree with that. I think Kent definitely will start. Scotia, again, the changes for you, obviously, it made Rangers move to very much a 4-2-3-1. Bakuna was playing the kind of number 10 role behind Roof. And I think maybe the idea around the change when it happened to get Bakuna on to play that kind of number 10 role was to support Kemar Roof, who I think for the majority of that game cut a very frustrated figure because nothing would stick up there for him and he couldn't really get himself into the game.
No, you're right. I think we started off the game with a 4-2-3-1. And then it was, Lyon started growing into it, and then that's when we kind of switched again, which I like to see. I like to see tinkering the team and the formation during the games to kind of suit what's happening. And yeah, there was that period in the first half, similar to this period that we're just speaking about in the second half, when it was pretty much all Lyon, but they weren't really threatening. They weren't causing us any problems. So Bakuna coming on, I could understand him coming on because Hadji wasn't, as I say, I think it was his poorest game under Gio, but I don't think it's an absolutely terrible game he's had tonight. But I think the changes themselves were kind of just made with Sunday in mind. Get players 45 minutes, get them 30 minutes in the legs, because a lot of these players we're going to be making use of on Sunday and then again on the following Wednesday. So we want to keep them as fresh as we can while protecting players that have played for that lengthy period so that they don't pick up an injury or anything like that.
Yeah, that's true. It might be more around that. I still think there was some form of experimentation going on with Gio to see what he could and couldn't get away with, I suppose. But look, it's one of the games we can't really take too much about it. Somebody asked, I can't even know where the comment is. Somebody just asked about Bakuna. We'll stick with him and we'll kind of round up his game. Ali, he's got some incredible footwork. I'm not going to say that he doesn't have that. He was unlucky at points today, but he didn't have that much of an effect on the game.
Flat to deceive, I thought, to be honest. When he came on and Roof was up there, he gave the ball away a couple of times. He was muscled off the ball a bit. He was frustrating. There was wee flashes where he had a couple of tricks in his locker where he looked all right, but he was frustrating. And then he was put kind of through the middle by him, and which I can't blame him because that's not his position through there. Mm-hmm. He was unlucky a couple of times, but I mean, overall, has he caught the manager's eye? No, probably. It's hard to judge because I felt for him having to play that kind of that striker's position, if you want to say. I know Aribo was pushed up with him at times, but I would say he was in the same camp as Hadji tonight. Frustrating, if you want to say with a word.
CGM's made these points pretty clear about Bakuna. His ego is writing checks his body can't cash. I don't know. Look, I think there's a player in there. I don't think there's any doubt. I think that he has talent. Scotia, what's your thoughts on Bakuna? It has been a few games, and he has played well for us. He scored an absolute cracking goal for us as well. But what do you think? Do you think there's a place for him in this squad?
I think there is, yeah. I think it was the Ross County game before the international break that he had a really good game when he came on in the sort of second half. And like I was saying when we were recording last week, that we hadn't really seen him under Gio up until the Dundee game midweek at the weekend there, and then obviously he came on again tonight. But if you're being honest, Hadji off, Bakuna on. Bakuna didn't really do anything to kind of dislodge Hadji. They were both much of a muchness over the course of that game tonight. They both weren't great, but they did show wee flashes. Hadji's got a lot more credit in the bank for me. So at the moment, he's probably still going to be sitting around the fringes, I think. But like I said, the Dutch guys will know him. They must know about him because he's previously played in Holland. He's played with the under-18s, under-16s, 17s teams in the Netherlands. So they must know about him. So I think he still does have a chance with the team. But at the moment, he's hovering around kind of in and out the match day squad rather than in and out the starting 11 squad.
Yeah, I would agree. Obviously, we're talking about Roof, and you've mentioned that Ali Bakuna playing through the middle. I was sitting thinking to myself, Roof's just, as I say, couldn't get into the game. I was like, but there's not really much they can do in terms of who's on the bench. We didn't have a striker on the bench, and then Roof came off and Aribo was coming on, and I was like, who's going up front? I thought Aribo was going up front, and to be honest, I was quite intrigued to see what that would be like. I think Joe Aribo can play anywhere he wants, but it was Bakuna that went up, and look, it just didn't work for me. He's not a number 9. We all know he's not a number 9, and I think that was more of a get a frustrated Roof off and just get another player on to get a few minutes in the legs, to be honest. We were getting when we were getting possession, we were getting periods of possession with the ball. Some of the passing that Rangers were playing was great. From the back, as you mentioned, Ali, as well, with McLaughlin. Even some of the passes within the midfield were really good. The final third wasn't as good. But Lyon were, at the start of the half, were pressing us really, really high. After they kind of backed off a bit because tiredness will creep in, etc., and the changes that both teams were making. I think they made all 5 subs as well. I'm pretty sure they did. So, I mean, they were just a kind of full. If that's what makes it feel a bit like a friendly as well. You're kind of subbing off players that don't usually play anyway, if you know what I mean, or not are in the kind of starting 11. So, I just thought we were struggling in the final third. Moves on to about 80 minutes. Rangers then struggle with back-to-back corners, a couple of free headers to leads to a goal line clearance from Steve Davis, who Scotia is back on the posts.
Yep. You know, for whatever reason, Gerrard took him off from defending the post. And tonight goes to prove, you know, Ryan was right when he said it. I was right when I said it. Everyone else that said it is right. We need someone on the post at corners because at the moment can't seem to, the defence can't seem to get those headers. There's always free headers getting given away for the attacking team. So no, having that extra wee bit of defence there at the post just to help clear your lines is vital. So I was glad that happened. And when I seen like the replay back, because I hadn't got it the first time round to get played, but I seen the replay back and it was just Davis at the back of the post, and I was like, oh yes, that's what I want to see.
It's what everybody wants to see. I always want to see Steve Davis on a post. Ali, you're obviously I think you just mentioned in the group, why can we not defend corners?
I don't know what it is. It's something we need to work on. Every time a ball comes into our box, I shite myself. Corner kicks, set pieces, anything that comes into our box. I think there was 3 corners and 3 free headers that Lyon had. Probably should have scored, to be honest. And they need to cut it out, Rangers, because a team will get joy for that. And that's where we're a bit weak at the back, Rangers. In general, all-round play, I think we're decent in the back. We're vulnerable at times to that long ball over the top, through ball, but especially at set pieces, corner kicks, we look very vulnerable. We just don't seem to deal with them and don't pick up our men. But like Scotia said, it was good to see Davis back in the post, because if he wasn't there, they probably would have scored one of them, to be honest.
They would definitely have scored one of them.
Yeah.
The one they cleared off the line, they definitely would have scored that. John Lammy said, did we not do last year having someone on the post? We did at the start of Gerrard's reign. For whatever reason,
it was Davis all the time. This season it stopped for whatever reason.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it has stopped. Well, it's back now, which is good to see. I'm delighted to see Davis on the post. Rangers then break forward up the park after determination from Aribo, sends Patterson on his way, but instead of returning the ball to Aribo, Patterson makes the wrong decision, really, and he slices the ball well wide. We look much more dangerous when Joe Aribo's on the park, and that's probably the understatement of the season so far. We look like a completely different team when he's there. We look dangerous. He just looks like he wants to take everybody on himself, but he's very... he's just such a game changer for Rangers, and he's critical for us going forward. Kent's unlucky with a run, but he's halted at the last minute. The follow-up to that is a low cross from Aribo into the box, but there's no one there to put it in. Right at the end, McLaughlin was called into action in near post again from a corner. Rangers easily letting Lyon get the header, as we've just spoke about. This time, McLaughlin gathers it pretty easy. 3 minutes added on time. Aribo and Kent link up really well on the left. The final ball from Kent is flashed across the goal, but again, no takers. Kamal Roof is probably sitting fizzing on that bench, the fact that these 2 chances have happened and he's been took off the park, because I'm pretty sure he would have scored. I would at least got to one of them, I would have thought. Look, I'm not blaming Bakuna. He's not a number 9, so you can't blame the guy for that. But if Kamal Roof was on the pitch, I'm pretty sure Kamal Roof would have been round about there anyway. And then Aribo was really unlucky right at the end not to win it for Rangers. Ball over the top, but he just couldn't get the right connection onto it. I thought that was pretty much us. I thought that's the game over. And then Patterson makes me pat myself a wee bit. He's kind of caught out with the last kick of the ball. Lyon should have won it, to be honest, but the attempt was pretty poor. And McLaughlin and Davis do enough to earn Rangers a point. It's a fair result, in my opinion. I think the game was a strange one to watch in terms of everybody knew there was nothing really in it for anyone. However, there was certain players, and there's one player we've not actually spoke about yet, so I'll speak to you about him now. I thought John Lundstram was great tonight.
Yeah, I thought he was good, Lundstram. Thought he was neat and tidy, did his job. Where he plays in the team, it's a no frills position, if you want to say. And I thought he did his job really well. Times he drove with the ball when he could, but I thought he was good, Lundstram, because he's not had a go under Van Bronckhorst. And we've been saying, does he fancy him? We don't know, because he's only come on for, I don't know, a couple of minutes really in a couple of games to kind of shore it up at times. But no, I thought he was good tonight, Lundstram. I really did. Just kept it neat and tidy, really. That's all he needed to do. And to me, he did his job tonight, Lundstram. And he's probably put himself... I don't think he won't start against Hearts, but he's put himself in there for the 3 home games coming up after that. We probably will rotate, so we'll probably see him in one of those games.
Yeah, Scotia, your thoughts on... Or do you think it's a fair result? And your thoughts on Lundstram tonight?
Yeah, overall, I think it's a fair result. Right up at the very end, obviously, you mentioned Aribo with that chance. And again, because I ended up listening to what the guys in the studio afterwards had to say, McCoist was going like, Aribo shouldn't have jumped over the keeper. He should have just went down and maybe put the opportunity there to get the penalty. I didn't see it like that when I seen it, but obviously hearing it back from McCoist, and then obviously Patterson right at the very end with a bit of a slack pass, kind of lazing about in the balls, but McLaughlin does what a Rangers goalkeeper needs to do in the last, dying seconds of a game, just being alert and making sure that there isn't any issues from it. So, yeah, overall, fair result. Lundstram, yeah, I thought he was really good tonight as well. I've noted that down, that I thought the midfield tonight was good. Kamara and Lundstram in the first half, and then Lundstram and Davis in the second half. I thought they were very tidy. And, Lundstram's probably a wee bit understated in how good he was in that game. And I did notice towards the end of the second half that he was maybe driving forward a wee bit more as well on the break, although that does tend to happen at that kind of those latter stages of a game. But no, I was impressed with him tonight.
Yeah, I was very impressed with him tonight, and you summed it up pretty spot on, Ali. It is a no thrills position. You are there to win the ball. That is it. Win the ball, feed it off, do what you have to do. But I just thought he'd done his job very, very well tonight, and sometimes you can see where he's come from, where he's played, the kind of level that he's played at. It kind of shines through sometimes, and a game like tonight, I think it really did. So, gentlemen, before we move on to discuss who we fancy in the next round, Ali, who was your man of match tonight?
Difficult one. I thought Ryan Kent in spells was really good, tore it up. Obviously, Lundstram, who we've just talked about, I thought was solid. Goldson, a couple of Hollywoods today were good. I thought him and Big Barsi were good, but I'm going to give it to Borna Barisic. I thought Borna Barisic defensively again today was solid. I thought he done his job as a left back, and I've noticed that with the full backs, they're not bombing on as they should be. We're letting our wingers do that, and I thought Barisic was really good at times defensively. So I know he's had a bit of flack, but I'd give it to Borna Barisic.
He did one wee moment where he got himself out of trouble as well. I think it was in the first half. He just did, I don't even know, some form of skill to get himself out of trouble in the way he done it. It was brilliant though. When he done it, I went, well done, Borna, kind of thing. And I'm like, right. And I was like, that's good. Ryan's obviously about. Hello, Ryan. He says Ryan Kent for him for man of the match. Scotia, man of the match for you.
Can't disagree with what Ali was saying about Barisic and about the other players I mentioned. Again, I thought Goldson, once again, he's kind of just let bygones be bygones, and he's starting to come back to kind of the player that we know and want him to be. But for me, I have to agree with Ryan. It was Ryan Kent for me. He offered the most danger going forward, I thought, and he was winning his decent fouls. So for me, he looked like our outball and the one way that we were going to frustrate or win the game. So Kent for me.
I'll go with Ryan Jack. Oh no, hang on, that's my notes for the other night when I didn't thought he was going to start. It's difficult. I kind of want to give it to Bassey, even though he scored the own goal. I thought Bassey was really good. He kept Dembele very quiet. Dembele had obviously made the choice that he was going to try his hardest to go up against Bassey instead of going up against Goldson. So I would give it to Lundstram. I don't know. It's between Bassey and Lundstram, but I can't disagree with Barisic or Kent. I think both were really, really good. I think it's a good thing that we have. Obviously, Aribo's been the shining light for us, but obviously, even when Aribo's not played the majority of the match tonight, we've been able to have a discussion about different players that we think were a man of the match, and there's not really a great standout. That's not saying that the team weren't good. I'm just saying it's good that we can have a discussion that other players are now bringing more to the table, because we were becoming very reliant on certain players, and if anything, everybody's kind of up in their game, and as I say, Gio's still unbeaten, and we can't ask for anything more than that. Lyon have ran away with this group, and to go over there, no matter what Lyon team you're playing, no matter what team we were playing, to get a draw is a great result for Rangers, and I'm delighted about it. So, Scotia, I'll come back to you. Obviously, the I think the draw is now Monday. I think the commentator said that the draw for the next round is going to be on Monday. This round of, is it 24? I don't even know how that makes any sense. I am not a man for figuring out how these UEFA competitions work anymore, but it's around the 24. But Rangers can get Leipzig, Dortmund, Porto, Sheriff, Barcelona, Sevilla, Zenit, and Atlanta isn't it?
Atalanta, yeah.
Atalanta.
Not Atlanta.
Sorry,
we're not going to Georgia. We're not going to Georgia.
No, we're not going to Georgia. No, we're not. Definitely not going to Georgia. Atalanta, even. So, Scotia, who do you fancy? And I don't mean like women. I mean like, what team do you fancy? Or men. Oh, yeah. Best be a PC podcast. Yes.
Yeah. Ideally, I think obviously Sheriff stand out there as kind of, they'd probably look as if they'd be the easiest team. But where are they out in? As Azerbaijan or Armenia, they're out that neck of the woods. So it's a wee bit of travel out there. Was it Moldova they're out in? Right. Yeah. It's still sort of far Eastern Europe, isn't it? They'd be the kind of ideal team you want, but obviously they beat Real Madrid at the start of the Champions League campaign. To be honest, I wouldn't mind Atalanta. Bergamo would be quite a nice. That's a nice wee area, Bergamo. You know me in Italy, but I've never been to Bergamo, so I'd like to go there. They'd be a good shout. And then obviously glamour tie, Barcelona, the way they're playing at the moment. If we could get them like next week or 2 weeks down the line, I would take Barca all day long. But we don't know how they're going to be come around. It's the end of February the tie's taking place, so
yeah,
you don't really know how things are going to change by then. So to be honest, I'd take anyone. I'd rather avoid a team that we've played too often in the recent past. So that rules out your Portos and Benficas, teams like that.
Yeah, I would agree. And the team from Georgia, I wouldn't mind a go at them because we've never played them before. So, Ali, I would be more inclined to pick Dortmund if the world was in its normal state. However, I know what's going on in Germany just now. There might be a chance that Rangers fans can't actually travel to Dortmund. If we can travel to Dortmund and we get Dortmund, I will need to beg the other half to allow me to go because I've always wanted to go, and what a better reason to go if Rangers are playing there. So my pick is Dortmund for that reason. However, I to be honest, I'm not really bothered. I just most of them you can say are a big tie. Sheriff maybe not, but everybody else is going to be quite a big tie. And obviously, it would be nice to avoid Zenit because going to Russia would be a nightmare. So, who's your choice?
First of all, Paul Stewart's looking out for a shout out to his daughters. Scotia is a real man. So Isla and Evie, Scotia does exist. He is a real man. He's and then he is live right at the moment. So you can ask him any question you want about the John Wick movies. Or the Shameless one as well.
Right, I've got that premiere soon, don't I?
You can even ask him. You can ask him about the islands of Scotland and Bute and things like that. He knows all that stuff as well.
Yeah, but no, in terms of my pick, they're all big teams. I wouldn't want. I don't want teams we've played previously like Porto. I don't want them. Zenit, nah. Sheriff's one we could probably get through for, but the one that everyone's shouting about, and obviously Curry Muncher's just said it there, is Barca. I watched Barca last night against Bayern Munich, and I know Bayern Munich are a very good team and a lot better than us, but Barca looked very average, and although they're struggling in terms of finances and stuff, and it's Xavi's their manager now, isn't it? He's come back as their manager.
Yeah,
has he?
Yeah, but for me, if you want a big glamour tie, Barca or Dortmund, but I think Barca would be a good one, and I think it would be a good away trip for all the Bears as well. I think we'd bring, Christ, we could get Sheriff and go to Moldova and we'd take 15,000, 20,000 there. Doesn't matter where we go, but I think a lot of the Bears would want Barca. I think that's the one.
Yeah, I think.
So I can get mugged in Barcelona again, aye? Cheers for that, Ali.
Because you were pushed.
To have Barcelona at Ibrox, yeah, I mean, it's Barcelona at the end of the day. I know they're not. There is a massive, messy-shaped hole in the middle of their team, but it's just, it would be the most glamorous tie. And I do think Dortmund would be incredible. Can you imagine Dortmund at Ibrox as well, and then even going over there? I think it would just be tremendous. Like, I'm not really bothered. Honestly, I'm not. I think we've got to the kind of the bonus round in terms of where we are as a team, if that makes sense. So the bigger, the better. I really couldn't care. So the draw for that is going to be Monday. Why is it not tomorrow morning? Somebody tell me. It usually is. Is it because of this game was delayed with Villarreal and Atalanta?
I don't really know, to be honest, but just doesn't really
could
matter,
be.
to be honest.
Yeah, so yeah, that'll do us. As I say, just a longer one tonight, just because we've went live. I'd say we're only live because we're doing it so late on due to other life things. Ali, thank you very much for your time tonight, mate. I'm glad you got your walk in before we recorded the pod.
It was pushing me rain. I just seen the guy from Auckland was away at the beach because it's 26 degrees there. So, God, Christ, I wish I was going there instead. But no, that was good tonight, and I'd imagine we're doing a club preview tomorrow on the Hearts game for Sunday. So I look forward to talk about that game, because that's the big game for us this week. So I'm looking forward to that.
We'll be doing it on Saturday. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. I'm working Saturday, so we will be recording tomorrow night, but it will be with you on Saturday. Scotia, thanks very much, mate.
Yeah, cheers. I am jealous of that. It's 26. It's 26 over here, but unfortunately, it's in Fahrenheit and not degrees Celsius. So,
See,
enjoy the beach in Auckland.
You're that intelligent, mate. I don't even know if that's true or not. That might be true. I've got no idea what the Fahrenheit.
I don't think it's as cold as I don't think it's as cold as that, but it's very close, if you're being honest.
I've not got a clue. So yeah. I mean, the results fair tonight. I think it was good to see players get a run out. Some impressed, some maybe didn't. But I think it was important to get a run out, and I'm glad we've treated it that way. I'm glad that Gio's decided to do it the way he has. So thank you for everybody for getting involved in the comments. It's always good to get your input. I'll finish up with the shameless plug from me. We are doing our first ever live show in the Viceroy on the 14th of January. So there is a link for the tickets in the description for this podcast. It'll be £5 a ticket. There is still some left. So come along, spend some time with us, because as I said in the last pod, I've got the fear it's going to just be me and Scotia, with me standing with a pair of Manscaped clippers in my hand, and I'm not really looking forward to that, to be completely honest. So yeah, and you can also become a Club at 22 supporter. You can join this channel for only 99p. Again, the link is below for that. And finally, just a shameless plug, please like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, like, share, comment, follow our socials, all the usual stuff. Really does help us. And yeah, we will be back. We will record a preview tomorrow night, and it'll be with you on Saturday. So until we speak to you then, we are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Thank you for listening, and on to Sunday now. Cheers, everybody.